Hi Karen. You had a head trust session last year, didn't you? So I just want to we're just going to have a chat about that. What initially brought you to have a head trust session in the first place?
Well, I'm in the field anyway, the mind and emotional mastery field, and what I liked about what you told me was the sounded like you got some of the processes a bit tighter. For example, the polarities of an issue. Which is quite unusual actually, and at that time I really got a sense of this inner conflict coming up with me between this impulse to really want to express my spirituality and being in a long-term relationship that I love with someone who's very science-based, and recognising that actually in order to keep tensions down, I suppressed this part of me, but I felt this massive impulse to want to do something about that. I got this sense that I needed to do it, but I didn't quite know how to go about it, considering all the other healing processes that I know. I needed something much deeper and much more effective, really. So, and in the session, what transpired, so I wasn't conscious that it was the spirituality initially. I just knew there was this conflict, but it was in the session that, and the questions that you asked and the incisiveness of all of that, that actually got it clearer and clearer and clearer. That really where I wanted to be was to make a full commitment to honour who I am, because that's been with me from dot.
So how did you find the session then, Karen?
I found the session really straightforward. The way that you took me through it was very staged, so I knew exactly where I was at any point in time. What I found very powerful, I've been trained in EFT, NLP, clinical hypnotherapy, I've done Larry Crane's release, and really the closest to the repatterning that you do here, really got a sense of working with opposites. So through that process, that's when it became clearer to me that my emotional issue was causing the conflict. Guilt was coming up, and as we were clearing that, I became stronger and stronger in terms of knowing that it was okay to fully commit to my spirituality.
How soon did you start to notice some shifts? Did you sort of notice it in the session, or was it after the session, or how was it for you?
Well, I think because in the healing professions, I immediately started to feel the shift. So the shift for me is that I felt lighter, and I start yawning, so I know that I'm in the right place when I'm working on something. So so I could trust that. And what you were very good at was, even though you were on the other side of the phone, so you weren't physically with me, is that you were very much in tune with exactly where I was. So that was quite affirming. I really liked that. That was very reassuring. So I was able to trust my intuition, know my own process of the signs that I get when I'm in the right place for healing. Was fantastic. So I immediately felt a lift.
And what about on the issue that you were talking about? You were talking about the issues of really stifling your own spirituality, sort of, because of your relationship. In terms of that part in your relationship, have you noticed any shifts since the session?
Well, I mean, it felt, in the session, it convinced me that I was in the right place and that it was okay to commit to it, and I committed to it, and I felt this inner strength. But it was very soft. It wasn't like, it's not like I needed to prove anything. And I just made a commitment to that and had discussion with my husband, and he sort of, we got married, and we got married recently, we've been together 27 years, but we only got married 8 years ago. And one of the things was that I said to him that I've been a frustrated hippie ever since we got together. And can I recommit on a different level? So he knew it was coming, and all I did was just shift it up to another level. So this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going in my business. And this is what I want to do. So I want to commit more to my spiritual community and various other things, which I've done. And as a result, he's shifting. I mean, he's come to a meditation class.
Has he done that before?
No.
Brilliant.
So he's come to one. And I think the next images, you know, talking about the fact that in at home I realised, so a lot of things became aware that I also, to protect the tension in the family, I had not pushed, because I wanted my children to go on weekends and stuff like that, and realised, so there was a bit of loss, recognising that I had contributed to that. If, you know, that now that I'm in my space, the children are listening more, do you know what I mean? So I had compromised it, no one else had.
So by changing yourself,
Yeah.
people changed around you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's been beautiful, really.
Okay.
And then recently, this has nothing to do with spirituality, but I've always liked dancing, so that was another area. So last year I committed to wanting to do ballroom dancing, and how it came up was by accident. A friend of mine contributed to Strictly Learn to Dance charity. I went to support her. I got so inspired that I volunteered to do it this year. So I did, and Anton said, "Who are you going to dance with?" And I said, "Well, the universe can decide that, and they're going to find me someone." And he's actually doing it with me.
Brilliant. Wonderful, wonderful.
That's just great.